What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and that is another win for your fighting Phils. They win the series against the Colorado Rockies. They win today by a score of 5-1. With a chance to sweep tomorrow with Taijuan Walker on the mound, so it's probably really important that you won the series today with Zack Wheeler on the bump. And boy, oh boy, Zack Wheeler just did Zack Wheeler things. Shouldn't have expected any less, especially, dominating a very bad team that is the Colorado Rockies. Zack Wheeler goes 7 strong innings. 1 run allowed, which was a solo shot late in his outing. 10 strikeouts. Just a ho-hum 10 strikeouts, even when it felt like Zack Wheeler did not have the best command in the world. But hey, when you have really good stuff, you're still going to get the job done at the end of the day. Felt like his off-speed stuff was just a tad bit on the lack of control side, a little bit off, if you know what I mean. But it felt like it got better as the game went along. Fastball velocity, always up there with Zack Wheeler. Even if sometimes it does fluctuate a little bit, Zack Wheeler does know when to ramp up the velocity when he really needs to. And that ends the day with Zack Wheeler going 7 strong with 10 strikeouts. And I think I saw a stat that this is the 13th straight start of 6 innings or more with 2 earned runs or less for Zack Wheeler. So that just shows the insane tear that he has been on, and just the Cy Young caliber stuff that Zack Wheeler has had ever since he has put on a Phillies uniform. It is just, and he just keeps getting better with age, it feels like at this point. He just gets better and better and better and better and better and better. And I do pray to hope that that ends at some point with him winning a Cy Young, because he's been getting so close to winning a Cy Young in the past couple of seasons, and he just gets, happens to get beat out barely by a margin. Last year with Chris Sale winning the Triple Crown for the National League in the Cy Young, obviously, and then he lost out to Corbin Burns that one year, honestly, when Zack Wheeler probably should have won the Cy Young Award in 2021, but I digress on that point. But Zack Wheeler, just fantastic stuff again. And also Edmundo Sosa. Turns out he's the best fucking hitter in Major League Baseball. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? He's been fantastic. Man, I just, you can't take him out of the lineup right now. He's just been that good. He's been that good. But before we get into the rest of this stuff, everybody, if you are new to the channel, I recommend that you do hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. You can also drop a like. You can also leave a comment in the comment section down below. Love to interact with you guys down there. You can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Do not pass it up. And you can also leave a follow over at TTP Sports on TikTok and Instagram for real shorts and all that great stuff. So, Phillies, they beat the Colorado Rockies today by a score of 5-1. They recorded a lot of hits today. They did have a lot of opportunities, and, specifically we're going to bring up that bottom of the 5th inning when the Rockies basically gifted you a bases-loaded situation when Edmundo Sosa gets on base. Kyle Freeland, the pitcher for the Rockies at the time, tried to pick him off, throws it away. Sosa gets to second, and then Rojas tries to sacrifice him over to third base. Bunch of crazy stuff happens. Rojas is safe. Then Trey Turner, grounds one, and it turns into weird things that turns him being safe, and everybody's safe, and the bases are loaded. And then you get bases loaded, nobody out for your 2, 3, and 4 hitters, and Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, and Kyle Schwarber. And it's probably the worst 3 at-bats that I've ever seen in my goddamn life. I mean, Bryce Harper, I don't think he saw one single strike in that entire at-bat, and it was the pitch that struck him out on. Throws him on a fastball in the outside corner of the plate. The other pitches was a fastball near his goddamn head that he actually took for a ball, and then he just kept hacking at sweepers and sliders down and away. So I don't know if Bryce was just not seeing the slider/sweeper that was coming out of Freeland's hand, but ugly at-bat. And then Alec Boehm, ugly at-bat. Then Kyle Schwarber, ugly at-bat. Guys could not lay off the sweeper for some reason, and that was 3 straight strikeouts and a very huge missed opportunity right there to basically break the game wide open. But thankfully you have Zack Wheeler on the bump, and thankfully you're playing the Colorado Rockies, because in any other probably team that you're playing against, i.e. probably the Los Angeles Dodgers that you're playing this weekend, that team would make you pay for not scoring with the bases loaded and nobody out. They would basically make you do that. Granted, I don't think they would hit Zack Wheeler that hard, but still, they would probably make you pay a little bit. Thankfully, you're playing the Colorado Rockies, but when you're playing at least a mediocre team or a better team, might I add, they're going to make you pay. Not going to harp on it, but that's just something to point out. That's just something that in the moment was very frustrating. But also getting back to some of the other ways the Phillies scored in this game, like I keep saying, Edmundo Sosa was great. Trey Turner was great in the leadoff spot today. He had 3 hits, lots of good contact for Trey Turner in the first, being in the lineup for the first time since opening day, and him having that walk in the home opener that basically set up the rest of that big inning for the Phillies at the home opener. So that was really good there. Really good stuff for Trey Turner. He had an RBI in this game. But then, the really funny stuff here, Alec Bohm gets on with a single in the, I believe this was the bottom of the 4th inning. And then Kyle Schwarber, basically the least Kyle Schwarber hit that you could possibly think of. He pokes one down the left field line, and it goes all the way to the corner of the wall, and it allows Alec Bohm to score from first base, and Kyle Schwarber gets a double out of it. That is just the most hilarious thing possible at that point. It was funny. It was very funny. And then Nick Castellanos with basically a sacrifice. He graded out to get Schwarber over to third base. And then JT with a swinging bunt, which the catcher, tried to prevent Kyle Schwarber from coming home on the play. Throws over the first base to get JT Realmuto out. But then here comes Kyle Schwarber bulldozing down the third base line. And somehow he scores. I'm like, what? Kyle Schwarber, what are you doing? What are you doing, my man? I love that you scored, but what the fuck? You're not Usain Bolt. You're not Usain Bolt. It's crazy base running from Kyle Schwarber on the base paths these first few games here. Crazy stuff. I believe it was, I think it was when he was leading off in the Saturday game against the Washington Nationals. He let off with a single, then he tried to stretch it into a double, and he got thrown out. Kyle Schwarber also stealing bases, trying to steal bases. Like, what version of Kyle Schwarber are we trying to get here? It's hilarious. It is hilarious. But Kyle Schwarber has been fantastic to start the year, so there is really no reason to complain. It's just something that I like pointing out, because Kyle Schwarber just trying to run the base paths is absolutely hilarious. And it just reminds me of, I believe it was one game, it was either last year or it was in last year, I believe it was in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, where he hit the triple, it goes off of that wall in left center field in Citizens Bank Park. He gets a triple out of it. Then I believe it was, I forget who it was specifically, that it might have been that Nick Picone guy on Twitter that does a bunch of the highlights with the announcer calls and everything like that. It could have been him, or it could have been some other Phillies fan account, but on that triple they played the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, and then Kyle Schwarber running the third base for the triple, and it was basically the perfect music for that entire situation. And it just makes me think of every time when Kyle Schwarber tries to run the bases and tries to be a speedster on the base paths. It just reminds me of that, and it's just really funny. Oh man, crazy stuff. But the Rockies, they do cut the lead in half for the Phillies. They do get a solo shot in the top of the 7th inning. That would be Zack Wheeler's final inning of the game. But the Phillies did respond in the bottom of the 7th for themselves with that Trey Turner RBI single, which did score Edmundo Sosa. And also some just weird stuff again with Edmundo Sosa getting that single to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Wild pitch by Freeland allows Sosa to get to second base. And then Johan Rojas, a couple of good sacrifices in this game. He allowed Sosa to get the third. Trey Turner singles him home. You get that 3-1 lead right there. And then you go to the bottom of the 8th, where everything basically just gets really crazy. So Nick Castellanos with 1 out. Singles, then JT Realmuto, probably his best contact so far of the season. Doubles, which moves Castellanos over the third, and obviously JT to second. Max Kepler gets intentionally walked, and then a couple of mound visits for some reason from the Rockies, which ends up changing pitchers. So Bud Black was just being a prick at that point with all the stoppages. But then Edmundo Sosa, they bring in a guy from the bullpen, the Rockies do. throwing 100, even though he can't find the fucking plate. Edmundo Sosa starts 2-0 in the count. He gets the fastball right down the middle of the plate, and he singles up the middle, or doubles up the middle, actually, and it scores 2 runs to give the Phillies a 5-1 lead. So great stuff there. Johan Rojas did work out a walk, and Trey Turner struck out. Then Bryce Harper flew out. Not the best day for Bryce Harper with runners on, so especially in bases loaded situations, even though Bryce will be fine from that. But just kind of, you want Bryce to come up where there's a lot of chances to drive in runs. So it is what it is. I think Bryce Harper was probably, especially in that bottom of the 5th inning, he was just trying to do too much. I don't know if he wasn't seeing the ball out of Kyle Freeland's hands good or anything like that. There actually was. It was the at-bat after the bottom of the 5th for Bryce Harper. I forget it was in the 6th or the 7th inning or something like that, where he barely missed it. He barely missed it. It got off the end of the bat and went to the warning track. I was like, I thought off the bat that thing was going in the fucking second deck. I was like, come on, just carry. That's the second time for Bryce in these 2 games here at Citizens Bank Park where the ball just dies right at the wall for him. So he's close. He'll eventually get it. So it's Bryce Harper. So we'll see. The top of the 8th inning for Matt Strahm, he dealt with a lot of command issues. He got a couple of runners on base because of walks, but found a way to get out of it. So good on him for figuring that out. Then Jose Alvarado in the top of the 9th inning did his job. Just absolutely nasty stuff, constantly just him and the heat. Alvarado doing Alvarado things. So turns up into a Phillies victory right there for you. See some of you guys here in the chat. Zack, you got to tell me, you got to call into the Anytime hotline or leave a text in the Anytime hotline. Got to tell me how the experience was down there at the bank tonight. Got a good one seeing Zack Wheeler in person. And speaking of Zack Wheeler, like I said earlier in this show, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 10 strikeouts on 105 pitches. Great stuff. And even when his off-speed command just wasn't really as sharp as it normally is, you're going up against this Colorado Rockies lineup. You're probably going to dominate even without your best stuff. So Zack Wheeler is Zack Wheeler. So you just really can't doubt anything right there. Matt Strahm pitched his top of the 8th inning, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 30 pitches there. So he's definitely not pitching tomorrow. Jose Alvarado, 13 pitches, 2 strikeouts, and a double out. So good stuff right there from Jose. Trey Turner in the leadoff spot today. Great game. 3 for 5 with an RBI and a strikeout. Bryce Harper, 0 for 5. 0 for 5 with that strikeout with the bases loaded. Alec Bohm got another hit with the torpedo bat, so improving a little bit there. 1 for 4 for him. Kyle Schwarber went 1 for 4 with that rope down the left field line, that double that he had. Nick Castellanos 1 for 4. JT Realmuto 1 for 4 with the RBI double. Max Kepler, he went 0 for 3 with a walk today. Edmundo Sosa, fantastic stuff. He went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Look at Edmundo Sosa's splits. He's batting .600 with a .625 on base percentage and an .867 slugging. You can't make this up. He's the best hitter in baseball right now. He is the best hitter in baseball right now. And is that going to last? No. Obviously, no. But right now, there's really no excuse to keep Edmundo Sosa out of the lineup, even though he's eventually going to come back down to earth. And we saw this last year from Sosa when Trey Turner went down with the injury early on in the season, that Sosa was just absolutely fantastic during that entire stretch that Trey Turner was out with injury. And he provided a very good spark for you guys. And that's what Edmundo Sosa is. He's a spark plug kind of player. Spark plug kind of player. The clubhouse loves him. The locker room loves him. Everybody loves him. I believe it was, I forget who actually said it the other day. It was after the home opener. I couldn't remember if it was Bryce. I couldn't remember if it was Trey, Kyle, or anything like that. Well, they were basically talking about how much they love Edmundo Sosa, and that's the type of player that he is, and that's the type of guy that he is in the locker room. And it's fantastic seeing the success that he has been providing in the production and the success that he is having in these first 5-6 games to start the year. So it's just fun to see. It is. And there was also a tweet here by Corey Nito on Twitter. Edmundo Sosa now has 4 straight multi-hit games, something he has never done in his career. And last year in 90 games, he had 13 multi-hit efforts at the plate, so he's nearly a third of the way to that number already. So that just shows to you how fantastic that Edmundo Sosa is playing already. It's funny too. That's Rob Thompson actually talking about Johan Rojas. And Johan Rojas did actually have a pretty good game today. He went 2 for 2 with a couple of sacrifices in there. So he's been looking good at the plate as well. He also worked a walk in there as well. And Rob Thompson said this postgame that was the best major league game that he has played so far in his career. So really good stuff there. Really good stuff there. So, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, some just good stuff. And it does get annoying that they didn't get those big hits with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th inning. That definitely was very annoying, just for a chance to put the game away early so you don't have to worry about stressing out the rest of the way. But with the way this team hits bullpens at this rate, so we'll see. Like I said, that's eventually going to even back to a mean. It's going to regress back to a mean where you're hitting starting pitching evenly as much as you're hitting the bullpen. So I'm perfectly fine with what they're not perfectly fine. I would like them to get on the board early. I would like to see some runs in the bottom of the 1st, bottom of the 2nd, bottom of the 3rd, early in games and all that stuff, but that's eventually going to happen. That is eventually going to happen, so I'm not going to fully complain about that the entire time. But good stuff. Good stuff here from the Phillies. And I do want to see if there's like any stats here on Zack Wheeler. I probably should go on Twitter and probably should have stuff pulled up already, but yeah, here, Zack Wheeler punched out 10+ for the 26th time in his career, the first time he has done it this year. Tonight was Zack Wheeler, and this is also from Tim Kelly on Twitter. Tonight was Zack Wheeler's 135th start as a Philly. Over that span, he has a 2.92 ERA and 92 quality starts. It's hard to be that much better. It's hard to be much better than that. Let's see what else is there. Let's see what else is there. A bunch of people talking about Zack Wheeler with the Cy Young and all that stuff. And here's something from Scott Lauber. Zack Wheeler has gone at least 6 innings and allowed no more than 2 runs in 13 consecutive regular season starts. The longest such streak in Philadelphia Phillies history. It's the longest streak by any pitcher since Shane McClanahan's 13-gamer in 2022. Good stuff there. Good stuff there from Zack Wheeler. That's just how great he is. Just how fantastic he is. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. Now it's going to be an absolute drastic change of scenery when you go from Zack Wheeler to Taijuan Walker tomorrow. If Taijuan Walker struggles against the Colorado Rockies, which there's a good chance of that because Taijuan Walker is just not good. And there has been a conversation about, was it right to boo Taijuan Walker in the home opener? I could kind of agree with that. It probably wasn't the best time to boo him. And granted, people are going to boo him because, yes, Taijuan Walker has not been good in the Philadelphia Phillies uniform. It's like it isn't, and it is his fault because he hasn't been good. It's more blame on the Phillies front office for constantly putting him in this position and constantly forcing him out there when he just doesn't have it. But I hope he does prove us wrong tomorrow. I hope he does. I just hope he does have a good outing tomorrow, can hopefully just find a way to minimize damage and put the Phillies in a position to win the game. The offense is going to have to hit tomorrow for Taijuan Walker just so he can feel comfortable. If we somehow get a scoreless inning from Taijuan Walker in the top of the 1st inning to open the game, I'll be shocked. I'll be completely shocked. I'll tell you that for free. I will tell you that for free. So if we do look at tomorrow's pitching matchup for the Phils, and the Rockies tomorrow is a 1 o'clock start. It'll be Taijuan Walker going up against Antonio Senzatella. Did he pitch at all against the Phillies last year? But so far, he is pitched in 1 game. He pitched 4 1/3 innings. It was the game against the Tampa Bay Rays. 4 1/3, 9 hits allowed, 2 walks, no strikeouts. So interesting stuff there. He is a right-handed pitcher. Did he pitch at all against the Phillies last year? I have no idea. No, he did not. He came up late in the season last year. So it'll be the Phillies' first look at him, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, Taijuan Walker tomorrow. And then you get this series this weekend against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are currently playing against the Atlanta Braves, and they are actually losing to the Braves by a score of 5-3. The Braves did get up early. So Dodgers, they're 6-0. The Braves are 0-6. One of those streaks is eventually going to get snapped. So are the Dodgers going to make a comeback? The Dodgers were down 5-0. It's 5-3 now in the bottom of the 5th, so anything could happen there. The Dodgers can come back and win. The Braves can hold out and win. So one of those streaks is going to end at some point. The Braves are not going to be winless forever, but that is absolutely insane how much they're struggling out of the gate. Getting swept by the Padres so far, losing this series to the Dodgers. So we'll see how it carries on. But yeah, with the upcoming weekend series here with the Dodgers, even though that's still in question with the weather because all I see is rain in the forecast, so I really have no idea what's going to happen. So Yeah, you got Taijuan Walker tomorrow to close out the series with the Colorado Rockies, and it would be nice to get the sweep just because of the fact that you have the Dodgers this weekend, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to win the series against them. So it would be nice just, get that next win, move the 5-1, and whatever happens with the Dodgers happens with the Dodgers, but just because you can't guarantee beating them in the series. You just cannot with how stacked that roster is. But who knows? Maybe they'll catch them at the right time, and maybe they'll be due for a couple of losses if they play the Phillies. Who knows? I have no idea. I have no idea. Then after that, Dodgers series with Luzardo on Friday against Yamamoto, Nola on Saturday against Sasaki, and Sanchez on Sunday against Glasnow. You'll have a day off on Monday, then you go on the road to play the Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals. So, interesting stretch coming up here for the Phils. And I do want to check the weather, actually, for these upcoming games. I always check the weather. And I do want to check the upcoming weather for the weekend just to see how everything is pushing. So, tomorrow is supposed to rain, apparently. I don't know when. It's supposed to rain in the morning, stop a little bit in the afternoon, and probably rain again as the evening rolls around. And then for Friday, it says 80% chance, which all looks like it's going to be in the morning, early morning. So it'll probably be something that's overnight. Then Saturday looks like it'll be fine. Sunday is supposed to rain, and I'm not sure when all that is. That looks like it's later, and it's starting in the afternoon, going on towards later in the day. I have no idea. I have no idea how the weather works because the weather is never right. The weather forecast, it is never right. So, we'll just see. We'll just have to play it by ear because we dealt with a lot of bad weather stuff in the early parts of the season, and games did not get postponed. So, and it was also raining a little bit during this game as well. So, we'll see how it goes. But most important part is you got the series. You do have a chance to sweep tomorrow. But I would like the offense to get as much run support for Taijuan Walker as possible because nothing is guaranteed with him on the mound. Hey, he proves us wrong for one game tomorrow. Good for him, but I'm not expecting much. I don't have high expectations for Taijuan Walker. I just don't. If you could understand why. I think anybody could understand why. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. What else is around Major League Baseball currently? Not much. Not much. Let me look at the very early look at the standings, the way too early look at the standings. The Phillies, after this win, they are 4-1 on the season. The Miami Marlins, they played 7 games already. They're 4-3. I believe they lost, unless these standings are not updated. They probably are. Yeah. So the Marlins, they're 4-3 apparently. The Mets, they're 3-3. The Nationals, they're 1-5. And the Braves, they are 0-6. And that'll be determined what happens with tonight's game against the Dodgers. It's the bottom of the 5th, nobody out, and a runner on 1st and 3rd for the Dodgers. So, oh boy. You definitely cannot win the division in April, but you can definitely lose the division in April. So, maybe very important for the Phillies to bury the Braves in that first meeting upcoming. But like I said, way too early even talking about that stuff. Way too early. Just look at somewhere else around Major League Baseball. The Cardinals are 4-2. The Cubs are 5-4. The Reds are 2-4. The Brewers are 2-4. And the Pirates are 2-5. Both the Padres and the Dodgers are 7-0. Crazy stuff there. The Giants are 5-1. The Diamondbacks are 4-2. And the Colorado Rockies are 1-4. Looking at the American League East, the Blue Jays are 5-2, the Rays are 4-2, the Yankees are 3-2, the Orioles are 3-3, and the Red Sox are 2-4. The Twins, they're 2. Oh, Jesus, look at the American League Central. Every team is below 500. 2-4 for the Twins, 2-4 for the Royals, 2-4 for the Tigers, 2-4 for the Guardians, and 2-4 for the White Sox. That's very funny. And the only team with a positive run differential in that division is the Chicago White Sox. What? That's funny. That is funny. And the American League West, the Texas Rangers are 5-2, the Angels are 4-2, the Mariners are 3-4, the Astros are 2-4, and the Athletics are 2-5. I can't get over that the entire American League Central is 2-4, but the White Sox have the best run differential in that division. Positive run differential. They're the only team that's a positive run differential. That is funny. That is funny. I don't think there's anything else. We do not have any calls here on the Anytime hotline, so we might as well just get to use some of you guys here in the live chat, and we'll end this thing off. So, Zach, how you doing? I'm sure you're probably just driving home right now or just getting out of the ballpark, so probably won't be able to do anything there. Yeah, driving home now, I won't be able to activate in the chat and won't leave a call. So yeah, you might as well just get home and focus on that. Yeah, definitely a great game. Definitely a great game. Channel name, how you doing? Forgot to mention on your previous stream that Kyle doesn't need until June. He's warmed up already. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber does look good at the plate. Didn't look good in that base loaded a bet though, but still fun to watch Kyle Schwarber on fire early. The rains seem to have an effect on the pitcher's control, or maybe just the Rockies pitchers suck. I think it would be the latter. I think it would be the latter, in my personal opinion there. So, yeah. Good win. Good win for the Phils. Once again, 2 series wins to start the year. Have a chance to sweep tomorrow afternoon with Taijuan Walker on the bump. That is a 1 o'clock start. So we'll see. We'll see. So appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Also leave a follow at TTP Sports on TikTok, Instagram for real shorts and all that stuff. So appreciate you guys for tuning in as always.